What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Today's video, we're taking a look at a Shoutcast in the Great League here, featuring one of the newly buffed Pokemon here, and that is going to be Sableye. Now, this trainer, his name is Big C Dizzle, and he's a good friend of mine, and I know that he regularly plays at a very high level. So, when he tells me that he's got some good games with Sableye, one of his favorite Pokemon, I am going to listen, and I am going to let this man get a Shoutcast on this channel. So, I am really excited to see these battles. In the back, he's going to be using Jellicent, using a double ghost sort of composition with a Clefable in the lead. If you don't have Clefable, you don't want to use Clefable, and you want to try this team, certainly a Azumarill or most any other fairy will probably do you just fine. Let's get into these games here and check out Big C Dizzle's run with Sableye in the Great League, starting off this game with a neutral lead with a shiny superior from the opponent here. We're going to see Big C Dizzle look to stay in. The opponent does outpace, but looks to overfarm just as C Dizzle does, and they're both going to be firing off, well, I assume the Superior is going to want to fire a move off after this. Moonblast is going to get the shield. Unfortunately, no attack drop. And knowing that we're going to get outpaced to 2 moves here, I like not shielding. Opponent goes for that Frenzy Plant. You have to stay in here and try to whittle away the Superior. At least get yourself an advantage so that Jellicent can maybe deal with it in the late game. Perhaps that might be in the form of getting both shields down and then swapping in Sableye, getting Jellicent on it later in the game to get to a Shadow Ball. But the opponent and C Dizzle both get in to their safe swaps right off the bat here, off simultaneous swap. That's going to be a CMP Ties Hydro Cannon. I don't know how much damage that did, but I assume it probably did a lot. And this Gator is going to be a problem for this backline. Sableye just barely hanging on, and the opponent letting themselves get farmed down so that whatever comes in next isn't going to get that farm, and the opponent's coming in with Blastoise, and it doesn't matter what kind of farm you're going to give anything. Jellicent is going to have a great time with this, as they can go for Shadow Balls and wall all of the energy from this Blastoise and completely just take this thing out. Now, Jellicent needs to make sure it doesn't get a move caught on it. This Superior has just enough energy for one move, and I think that this is just going to be a farm down situation. C Dizzle might be looking to make a catch here. Nope, getting the full farm down and has to double up on Shadow Balls here. Now, the thing that's important here is that the opponent still has a shield, so they can let one of these Shadow Balls go, but they're going to have to take on the chin. Now, I think you can easily still get to 2 Shadow Balls. Hydro Cannon would be very close to having 2 of them knock out. I'm pretty sure 2 pretty well knock out here, so we might end up seeing a catch attempt here, but it's going to come down to, does Jellicent get to the energy it needs to take this Blastoise out? Going for the move. No, he can't go. He gets the Swift, bro. Let's go. That's how you clutch a game. Clefable rocking that new Swift move on it. Doing well. Good game. Next game, real nice lead. Whole team just destroys this Annihilate here. Opponent's going to come in with a Credillion. I bet Big C Dizzle is wishing he had Meteor Mash right now. Would be able to do a lot of damage to the Credillion. But we're going to see the opponent going for that Rock Tomb, and then in comes Sableye to look to start going for foul plays. Getting a little bit of chip damage here on the opponent's Credillion with those Fairy Winds. It's going to help this Shadow Sableye do enough damage to be able to possibly threaten a knockout here. An opponent is going to go for a charge move. Big C Dizzle's letting that Rock Tomb through. That is a pretty gutsy call considering how just absolutely much damage this Rock Tomb is going to do now. Credillion is no joke. Gleam, however, is going to take switch advantage, and the opponent's going to come in with a Shadow Typhlosion. Man, I don't know. Shadow Typhlosion is kind of scary, but in comes Jellicent. Oh, yawned a little bit there. Jellicent is going to be able to take any one move here. Thunder Punch would do quite a lot, but we're going to be able to get 2 of the Surfs here, and the opponent's going to have to shield this up if they have any chance of trying to win this game with this Typhlosion. Typhlosion's got quite a bit of energy. It's got about a Thunder Punch or so loaded, and the opponent's looking to make a catch, but it's not going to matter because this Clefable comes in with the Moonblast loaded and is going to knock this thing all the way out. No worries. 2 shield flex. Opponent concedes. Well played. Next game, Charjabug on the lead, something that the backline doesn't really appreciate because of the pacing of Charjabug and the fact that Jellicent is just outright weak to electric. Opponent's going to go for what's likely a discharge here, is because now these 2 moves are no longer different energy values. You can simply just go for whichever move has the better coverage, and Big C Dizzle's going to make a ton of energy and get into this Clefable. Excuse me. Now, Jellicent dominates this matchup here, being able to take almost 2 charge moves plus the bubbles, if not maybe. I mean, you just take 2 true moves, honestly. 2 play roughs, and then you're doing a lot of damage back and forth with these Shadow Balls, so easily going to be able to tank another move if he needs to, and I think it's what he's probably going to look to do. The opponent probably isn't going to want to win switch here, nor are they likely to try to even go for shields here. As they're just hard countered. There's no way they're ever winning this matchup, so they may as well just save the shields for whatever's in the back. Shadow Ball is going to be reached and take out the Azumarill with 1 more Hex here, and Charjabug is going to come back in, and instead of going for the Hex, they are going to go for the Shadow Ball to guarantee that this Jellicent gets to throw this charge move as the discharge, or Volt Switch knocked out. Now, in comes Lapras, and unfortunately for this opponent, they are about to have a very bad time as Sableye double resisting those Shadow Claw, or double resisting the Psy Waves with that Dark subtyping is going to be able to allow it to just completely dominate this matchup and not even worry about having to take care of any fast move damage. You just shield up the Arias, farm down, and the Charjabug in the back is going to have a very bad day. I think with 1 shield, we get a farm down here, and this is going to be the most hard-hitting move left in the game, most likely, as Discharge and X's are not quite going to cut it. But Big C Dizzle's got almost 2 foul plays ready, as I'm trying to suppress my yawns again. It's week 1, man. I'm making videos as much as I possibly can because I know y'all want to see this new stuff. And as soon as that's done, I'm probably going back into hibernation and doing like 1 video a week, or 1 video a day, or every couple of days. But the foul play is going to knock out, and the opponent's not going to be able to get to any charge moves here with the Lapras, and they're going to concede. That's a good game, well played. I'm not overworking myself, I promise. It's just late. And my computer decided it wanted to have issues and nearly crash as I was trying to edit footage tonight, so that was fun. But opponent's going to safe switch in a Charjabug, which is an interesting thought here, but the opponent is going to have to take a Swift. Oh, and they... Oh, that's a nasty bait, dude. Oh, that never works. I always shield those. I feel for the opponent. This pain that they feel right now, yeah, me too, man. So with a shield advantage, though, and after having just thrown the energy, Sableye can safely come in here, take any 1 move, outpace the opponent to the next charge move, and be able to really put pressure on this Charjabug. However, it looks like either Big C Dizzle's looking for more energy or miscounts the opponent's moves, and they are going to be able to come in with a Spiritomb. But Spiritomb is to be afraid of this Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam gonna nearly one-shot. Oh my goodness, dude. Unfortunate that Sableye cannot get to another charge move. That thing was a disaster for the opponent. And now, in comes the Clefable, looking to fire off the Swift immediately, just in case the opponent looks to go for charge attack priority. But Charjabug takes the Swift, not shielding this time because it doesn't want to shield twice, man. The opponent's probably trying to save that shield for whatever's in the back, but Clefable's getting that farm down, and in comes a Credilli, and this is now extremely difficult to overcome. With a shield, hopefully it's going to be fine. But hoping to get into this... No, the opponent has the shield. Never mind. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that Credilli is going to mop the floor with this poor Jellicent. And the only way that we could possibly get a win here is if the Surf gets a shield and we can get to another Surf, which I don't think is possible because I'm pretty sure that Credilli is closer to a move than the Jellicent is to 2. So, Surf's going to get the shield. And can he get there? Oh my god, he gets there! Just Jellicent win over Credilli. Dude, no. There's no way Jellicent wins over Credilli. There's no way. Oh my goodness. How? Good game. I'm pretty sure I've been on the other end of that CMP, and I always lose it. Anyway, opponent's going to safe switch into Blastoise, and that's going to be a wrap for this Blastoise. Jellicent comes in to completely wall this energy and make a very bad day for this Blastoise. Jellicent looking at... You'd think I would be more awake for this stuff, you know? Jellicent's going to be looking to pack away this energy into the Blastoise. Opponent's probably not going to shield this as they are hopeful. Never mind, I'll eat my words. The opponent's going to shield. Maybe they're looking to make a play for switch, but unfortunately for them, Jellicent controls this matchup from start to finish, being able to tank at least 2 charge moves and those rollouts to be able to get to these Shadow Balls. Opponent wants to give up that other shield? I don't think so. We're going to see them likely get farmed down here if they're on their 4 cycle, which they might be. No, they're on the 3, or they just happen to get to 4. But Jellicent has a choice to make. Is it going to live this Hydro Cannon? It does, just barely, dude. And Big C Dizzle's looking to land a Surf on this Pangoro. Was waiting just as long as they could to be able to make sure the Pangoro is what came in so that we could throw unresisted damage. Not able to get to another move, though. Those Karate Chops do the farm down, but Sableye is going to come in and has to deal with a Wheezing. Oh, no, man. This is not a good time, but you're looking to do as much damage as possible. You don't need shields or really much of anything for Clefable to be able to handle Pangoro in the back. So Sableye just needs to do as much chip damage to this thing as possible, perhaps even get a shield. And we're looking to get there. Sableye does win CMP over the Wheezing here. Wheezing looking to play to a CMP tie that it cannot win, and now saving a shield for this Clefable to do some sweeping. There is no way out for the opponent. They don't have enough HP to live a Swift, and they're going to have to take it as they're not able to react in time to see the swap coming. Clefable landing the Swift, not enough to knock out, but the opponent has a Sludge, and this is where you use the shield. You're going to want to use that Sludge, or shield at that Sludge. That's going to be the hardest hitting move left in the game, and Pangoro is going to get just eviscerated by these Fairy Winds. Close combat? Who said close combat worked in here? No, sir. Get the panda out of here. Good game. Clefable sweeps. Lock that Clefable on a Fairy, and you're just off to the races. Opponent has a Steelix, likely on Thunderfang in this next game, and they're going to come in with a Dragonair. And you can fake the Gleam here, but now with the rework to Foul Play, Sableye has a pacing advantage here that it did not have before, and I'm actually curious to see if it can win Charge Attack, or no, it won't win Charge Attack priority. If we can win Switch against the Dragonair, but unfortunately it looks like the Dragonair is going to be able to just rip through the Sableye, but the opponent's going to be forced to give up 2 shields, and the alignment is theirs. Clefable can come in here, though, and mow down with these Fairy Winds and still apply some level of damage into the opponent on the other end of this. But Jellicent looking very nice with a shield advantage in this game. Looking to see what Big C is looking to do after the opponent comes back in with that Steelix. Steelix with Thunderfang is going to do quite well into this because, you know, Clefable has no way to hit this thing. And you have to hope that you can win this with Jellicent. That's it. Gonna go for a no shield, not respecting the crunch here. The Psychic Fangs. It is the crunch! Oh no! And there's a Drapion in the back. Oh man, if Clefable is going to be able to win this game, it's going to have to do it now. Clefable is sitting in the back, but these Surfs are going to do quite a bit. Maybe Big C Dizzle making a really strong play here, looking to go for this over farm and get to a point where they can throw a Surf now into the Steelix before the Steelix can farm down with Thunderfang. Steelix is going to come back in and take the Surf, but it might be low enough after the Surf lands for a Moonblast to be enough to knock out. And Clefable is still looking extremely healthy. Look at it come in and fire off the Moonblast. This has to be enough. There's no way this isn't enough damage. You cannot tell me. That's right. It's enough. Good game. Next game up, we're going to have Clefable into a Sableye. Not a good time for the opponent, but they do have a pacing advantage here with their moves. But in comes Jellicent into the Blastoise, and the opponent says, nah, fam, I'm tired of this. I'm not doing this today. Clefable into Jumpluff. Not exactly a great lead here for this team. You do have to stay in and handle this Jumpluff with your Clefable. Hoping for a Moonblast debuff, just maybe. Opponent probably on Acrobatics here if they're farming up this much to get to a charge move. And we're going to see the opponent go for some energy, see if they know the moveset. Acrobatics is the play here. They are on the double nuke moveset. And I think Clefable can certainly go for a possible bait here to try and even out these shields, but the opponent might just be willing to go down with the shield advantage, so we'll see Big C Dizzle looking to go for a Swift with that Clefable, and Clefable is either going to get a shield or feel really bad. You have to go for it. It was a good call, hoping that maybe they'd be able to get the shield back, but no, unfortunately, Jumpluff happy enough to get that move, and now Big C Dizzle looking to pivot, but the game says no, you're staying in, trainer. But Clefable's going to go down, but Jellicent will now take its place. The other pink nightmare on this team, the big kissy fish, jellyfish, but in comes Sableye now to take over for Jellicent after taking that Rock Tomb on the chin. Looking to go for the foul play here, threatening super effective damage into this Claydol. The opponent is now forced to shield, but they can now go for the Rock Tomb and get another shield out of Big C Dizzle's team here. Shadow Sableye is going to have to shield up this Rock Tomb, and then in comes the Blastoise, going for the Gleam. Is the Gleam harder? I think the Gleam has to be harder hitting, right? Because otherwise you could have possibly gone for 2 foul plays, but nope. The opponent's going to go for this move, and that means that Jellicent can clean up because the opponent had just thrown their energy. Shadow Blastoise is walled completely here and could honestly just get farmed down. If Big C Dizzle plays this carefully, he might be able to just fire off 3 Surfs at just the right time to be able to maneuver through the rest of this game, as the Claydol has no energy, getting just short of 3 Surfs here. Just needs 2 more. Can we get there? The Mud Slaps are going to add up. In comes the Surf, but he's able to live the next Mud Slap and fire off 2 Surfs for the game-winning charge attack play here. Gonna go for that next Surf. The opponent's had a charge move, but that Claydol is not winning CMP against Jellicent anytime soon. Taking a Surf to the face, and that's gonna be a good game well played. Next game up, Clefable into Pangoro. You love to see it. Here we go again. Opponent swaps into Dusknoir, and Sableye can now come in and look to dominate this matchup with just its fast moves and even have a ton of energy on the other end. Now, the opponent, however, the Dusknoir, can get to 2 Shadow Punches, which is extremely risky for Sableye. Double shielding here. The energy is valuable because you can easily get those shields back with the Dazzling Gleam onto the Pangoro. Now, Pangoro also has to get to a charge move here. Those Karate Chops are resisted, making it very, very difficult to be able to farm down a Sableye. Now, opponent is going to be going for this Karate Chop action here. Action figure, and the opponent also shielding up the Gleam and firing off the energy. I almost wonder if maybe just going for the foul play bait there would have made more sense, but I like just full sending here because it means that you definitely know that you can keep this alignment. And now in comes a Dusclops. This is going to be a little bit awkward because Jellicent is going to have to land a Shadow Ball in order to do much. So instead, we get the HP deficit taken care of with that Moonblast. And now, once again, Clefable is just sitting there, doesn't need anything to deal with Pangoro, but going for Surfs here is going to be enough after that Moonblast lands to be able to nearly knock out this Dusclops, and the opponent's looking to shield up this Dusclops and get the Shadow Punch damage in here, which is going to be very valuable for them. Now, opponent can probably get to a farm down. Wait, can they get to the... No! Jellicent making it to another Surf just in time. That's 2 games in a row where the Jellicent is clutching up. Surf gonna get the knockout. In comes the Clefable to make the Pangoro's life absolutely miserable and going for the Swift just in case. Opponent going for what's likely a close combat here. Swift is going to be able to easily knock out from this range, and Clefable is clutching up yet another dominant lead and switch advantage game. Nice alignment, trainer. Next game, Clefable on the lead of the Guzzlord. Oh, man, I wish I could get leads like this. When I lead fairies, I get Clodsire leads every time, dude. Who safe switches Azumarill anymore? Oh no, Jellicent's going to come in and do what Jellicent does. Completely dominate this matchup, and at least Sableye can stay away from it. But the opponent, I would say, is very likely to have either a Toxapex or other poison type in the back, as a safe swap Azumarill is very telling of another water type in the back that Guzzlord needs to try to dispatch a grass type of. You know, just stuff like that, you know. Stuff like that. But Jellicent easily going to be able to win this matchup. The opponent wants to desperately make a play for switch, but what they can do here is they can actually utilize Guzzlord to be able to fully farm down this Jellicent and be able to hit Clefable with Sludge Bombs. The Big C Dizzle making a really nice wait to make sure the opponent didn't catch that Shadow Ball, and then down goes the Azumarill. Even shields. He's going to probably just let this go here because Sableye cannot ever be matched up against Guzzlord unless shields are down, because that's the only way it's going to be able to get to the Dazzling Gleam. Big C just looking to try to get the 2 moves here, but unable to get there. And opponent's Guzzlord gets a gigantic farm down and can easily just go for a Sludge Bomb here. Sludge Bomb's going to do a lot of damage, and the opponent's looking to pivot into the Toxapex, and here it comes, man. That was like I could read that a mile away. Guzzlord lead, poison in the back. Every time you can put it on my tombstone. That'll be... You could put it anywhere, and it's true. The opponent's going to be suffering in this matchup, unfortunately for them, as the Ghost typing is going to resist this fast move damage coming from the Toxapex, and the pacing advantage is massively in Sableye's favor, being able to get to 3 foul plays in the time that it would take for this opponent's Toxapex to get to even 2 brines. And 1 brine was easily taken here by Sableye. Not a whole lot of bulk, but now making sure the opponent can't get the catch, and he's going to come in with the Clefable. I like not throwing that energy there because you know that you're going to need it to be able to get rid of the Toxapex. Going for the Swift and the farm down. Opponent not able to do anything about it. In shambles, going for the Moonblast. just to guarantee that extra damage. If you're only going to be able to go for one, the Moonblast will do more damage, and that's going to be taking the opponent down into the deep red, where a foul play is more than enough damage to get a knockout, and that's going to be well played. Another Sableye clutch up here in these games. Well played. Getting into our next game here, we got Clefable and Sableye. Bro, where can I get these leads, dude? Man. Oh, man. In comes Jellicent. I think that personally, I would have thrown the Swift and then come in with the Jellicent here, if that was the play. Dude, I met a Feraligatr today. You know what they had when my Jellicent came out? They had Crunch. Yeah. That's the kind of times that I've been having, and that's why I'm all too happy to shoutcast other trainers' battles right now, because I am not having consistent success like some people have been. I don't know how you do it, but not me. Anyway, I'm just shoutcasting whatever I can, because even if when I have a bad day, I'd like to be able to get other trainers' battles on this channel, because at least that way I feel like, you know, it just feels good to be able to put someone else's content out there and be able to enjoy it, you know what I mean? So now Clefable's going to come back in, and it's going to need to really put the hurt on this Feraligatr and probably shield up. Swift is going to get some damage, and I don't know if it's enough to knock out, though, but the Swift does a decent chunk here. But nope, Sableye. I thought they was going to bring in the Sableye just now. I thought I saw it, but nope. The opponent is going to have to 2v1 this Sableye, but it's got a shield, and in comes the Mandibuzz. And did you know that 2 Gleams will fully knock out this Mandibuzz from a Shadow Sableye? It's pretty ridiculous, I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Look at that damage. Going to be able to shield this up if they want to. However, if it's Aerial Ace, this is going to feel really bad. Going for the Dark Pulse, the opponent going for the full send, and that's going to put Big C Dizzle in a position where apparently Sableye loses CMP to Mandibuzz. I don't know how that works, but I mean, sure. Sure. Makes sense, man. Makes sense. You know what happened today? My Sableye lost CMP to a Clodsire. It was great. Speaking of Clodsire, there he is. The boy himself comes in, and unfortunately, this deficit of just absolute sheer bulk is going to be too much to overcome for the Sableye, and it's going to be subdued here by the Clodsire. But a nice 9-1 run in these games here for this team. So definitely, Fairy Double Ghost is now back on the table, I will say officially. As this new meta unfolds, I think that this Double Ghost sort of comps are going to be very strong. But let me know in the comments what you guys felt about this. If you have Sableye, you don't need it to be a Shadow. You can use a regular with Dazzling Gleam, and I feel like it works really good as a safe switch in both Shadow and non-Shadow. Shadow definitely has some really nice potential for damage, but you're going to be missing that bulk on your safe switch as a as you would have with a non-Shadow. But let me know in the comments what your favorite Pokemon from Hoenn is, because that's what's going to be next, as I'm going to be going through each one in each video. So we'll take care, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.